And also, we have two of our proud alumni who who attained their chartered engineer status. They have joined this session to give an insight about the IC memberships. Let me briefly tell you the purpose of this webinar. As I told you earlier, annually we conduct this session to encourage our students because we do conduct programs, diplomas, and degrees and postgraduate programs in civil and construction, structural design, and construction management, those disciplines. We've been conducting these programs over last 11 years. So one of the main challenges our students face after passing out from these programs, there are lots of institutional red tapes in local contexts when they are trying to get the professional memberships. But there are ways and means our students can get memberships going through international bodies. The very reason of organizing this webinar session for them to get a knowledge from the first-hand knowledge, especially through institution of civil engineers, officials, and also, to this time we are very lucky to have the deputy chair of JPM. The JPM is the body which represent the Engineering Council of UK. Under that, you get the ICE. Then, I guess this webinar will be helpful for our students, our own students, our alumni, and also our prospective students who are willing to join our programs in coming intakes. Let me explain the flow of this webinar. Firstly, I will invite Professor Mukesh Limbachia to highlight the importance of getting the professional memberships, especially in the civil engineering. And after that, we will invite Ms. Kat Mansell to explain the membership rules available, different membership rules available, and how you can climb up to the echelon of the engineering profession like charterships. After that, we can listen to two testimonials from our proud alumni who are very seasoned industry professionals now and who attain their charterships. Namindu Jayasuriya, and we have Desmond Pulas here with us. Then we will have short Q&A sessions. You all can post your question. Also, throughout these sessions, you all are free to post any questions, any unclear areas through the chat box. Then we will try to answer during the session. If we cannot answer during the session because of the time limitation, definitely we will email you. Make sure you post your question with your email or your mobile number. Right. Then let me start this session. Firstly, I will invite Professor Mukesh Limbachia to address you. First of all, let me give a brief insight of Professor Mukesh Limbachia. Actually, he is my mentor throughout my career at ESOFT, starting from 2013. And Professor Mukesh Limbachia is a professor in civil engineering, and he's a deputy chair of JPM, Joint Board of Moderators. And also he's the University Liaison Officer for Kingston ESOFT collaboration. And he's having many more industry affiliations. Right? I won't go in detail, and you can see his profile in LinkedIn. Right? Over to you, Professor. Professor, can you give some insight to our students and prospective students about the importance of having the professional memberships?
Thank you, Prasad, and very warm welcome to our Kingston students, graduates, and prospective students. Very good evening. I'm from very warm UK, London. Unlike in Sri Lanka, we get only few times a year such a beautiful weather. So, as Prasad mentioned, we have been working together for many years with the successful track record of delivering a industry ready graduates. And some of our alumni like Navindu and Desmond are doing a wonderful things and flying a flags of Kingston ESOP in a different parts of the world. Just for the context, myself I'm a charter engineer and also fellow of the Institute of Civil Engineers. And what I have been asked to do is to spend a little bit of time to remind ourselves what are the key benefits of associating us with the professional institutions. And in the introduction, Prasad mentioned my association. I have been working with the engineering professional institution in UK for over 30 years. And that includes the Institute of Civil Engineers, with whom I'm also a member of Academic Qualification Panel, and I'm also Deputy Chair of the ICE Education Committee. So with that background and my extensive experience and knowledge of the industry, what I wanted to share with you, some of the key highlights and the points in terms of the benefits that I have enjoyed, I have secured through my association with the professional institution, and particularly and specifically through the ICE memberships. I think the first thing I would like to say that the biggest benefits in the order of priorities are any association with the professional institution. It can be counted as a passport to the practice. It confirms the recognition, excellence of your activities and your capability and attributes that you achieve around the world. It's been recognized globally for professional and technical excellence. It is not only just excellence in professionalism and technical ability, but strong ethics, principles of ethics and conduct, the way the professional engineers are required to conduct themselves through the recognition as a professional engineers. Also, one thing I found increasingly important, association and benefits of being a professional institution membership, is that it provides a multiple avenues of opportunities. It provides you exposure to a range of networking, training opportunities, more importantly, learning resources that really supports individuals' career and help us to keep up to date with the constantly evolving and changing civil engineering and construction sectors around the world. So in essence, the biggest benefit I see that it provides a platform, not only showcase your own work through network and through conversation, through the different forums, different committee, but also it provides you a lifelong learning and development that is expected, that what you professional engineers are signed up to through the membership and aligned to the Engineering Council's requirements. And no doubt, Kath will speak to you about different types of memberships. I think, and some of you already have seen benefit of being a student member, graduate member, or in some cases, associate member. But I think pathway all the way through the charter engineering membership is the one that one should strive and aim to achieve. So benefits are, you cannot count in a mandatory terms. I think they are, in my view, are those which are the pillar to your constant and ongoing development and presence within the professional sector of civil engineering. So with that, I wish you all the best and look forward to seeing many of you to come and join the ICE family through the membership and other activities and engagement. I should also say that another biggest advantage I notice for our students in Sri Lanka is that they can also take part in some funding, some topic and dialogues and awards, etc. So I think there are multifaceted benefits, and the list I provided is not exclusive full list, but it's just some of the highlights of what can be accessed to and achieve as in terms of the benefits through the membership of the ICE and professionals engineer institution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. Indeed, we are very lucky to get an guidance from the Deputy Chair of JPM. I mean, it's a very rare chance our students and our prospective students are getting, because this is first-hand information they are receiving. Right. Now, then my invitation goes to Ms. Kat Manson. Actually, Kat is a very regular kind of advisor or the supporter for us. Last few years, we have been conducting this webinar session to updating, guiding students about the memberships. And one of her main role is to promote the memberships among this part of the world. To give a bit of insight of Kat, initially Kat comes from chemical engineering background. After that, she has gone to different disciplines, now handling program project management. And right now, she is the membership manager at Institution of Civil Engineers of UK. Under her purview, these English Midland, South Asia, and Africa, she's promoting ICE memberships in these areas. Then we are very lucky and we are very happy, and also thank you so much for your generous contribution, because whenever I request for a webinar, she's always there. Over to you, Kat. Then please take us through these membership drive, how the membership pathways, what are the available pathways, and what are the specific information our students should know about.
Great, yeah, thank you very much for the introduction, and nice to be here again. So I'm based in Birmingham, which is a bit further north from Prakash, so I'm right in the middle of the UK. It's still looking outside, it's still pretty hot here as well, so we always have to talk about the weather when we're in the UK. So let me just share my screen, which hopefully you will be able to see. Can you see that okay? Yeah, I can see a thumbs up. Great. I just put it into the right form. Oops, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I've got a fairly standard presentation for you. And Mukesh has already covered some of the things that I was going to talk about, you know, so that because he's got the real on the ground view of things. That's really nice to have somebody talk about that. So I'll do a very brief introduction to the ICE because Mukesh has already done some of that. I'll talk about student membership of the ICE, and then importantly, as Prasad said, what I'm here, my key thing today really is to talk about how do you become a professionally qualified member? How do you become an incorporated or a chartered engineer? So I'm afraid my camera is on one screen and the presentation's on another, so I'll be looking in the opposite direction, so I hope you don't mind. So just a very brief introduction then to the ICE. So we were founded over 200 years ago, so in 1818. So it's a very old and prestigious institution. We have over 95,000 members. Actually, I think we've got about 98,000 members at the moment. Obviously, it fluctuates during the year. In over 150 different countries. And again, I think it's about 160 countries. And for you, that is really, really important. As Mukesh said, that we are a truly global organization. And for people who are situated outside of the UK and will probably be working outside of the UK, it's really important to know that we are globally recognized. So wherever you are in the world, wherever you're working when you graduate, people in the world of civil engineering will recognize the ICE as a mark of quality. We are seen as a mark of quality. So once you gain your professional qualification, your iEng or your CEng professional qualification, everybody will recognize that as a mark of quality and know that you're working at a certain professional level. And that's why the ICE are worth looking at and worth joining, even though it's a UK institution, and obviously you're in Sri Lanka. So we are licensed by the UK Engineering Council to assess people for their professional registration at EngTech, that's technician level, which probably isn't appropriate for any of you, but iEng, which is incorporated level, and CEng, which is chartered level. So CEng, as I think both Prasad and Mukesh said, is a sort of pinnacle. That is the most prestigious and the highest level of professional qualification. iEng is slightly lower than that, but it still can be, for some people, a really good thing to aim for. You might aim for that before you go for your chartership, but we'll talk about that in a little while. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go back. Let's just go back. There we go. So these are our different member grades. So student membership is where you are at the moment. And hopefully some of you are already student members. And if you're not already student members, you will become student members very shortly after this session, because we will enthuse you to do that. And I'll talk a little bit about student membership in a minute. When you graduate, you will be able to become a graduate member of the ICE, and you will immediately be able to use those letters GMICE, G-M-I-C-E, after your name. And there's big value in that, because you'll be able to put it in your CV. Potential employers will be able to see that you're really focused on your career and that you've already joined the ICE. So that's well worth having. And then the next three, engineering technician, incorporated engineer, and chartered engineer. As I said before, those are our professional qualifications where you are assessed against certain competencies in the form of a review. And I'll talk about that. And as I said, probably incorporated engineer and chartered engineer is what you will be aiming for. Another really important thing about the ICE is our broad membership. There are a number of different institutions you could join. There's the iStructE, the structures, there's highways, there's water organizations. The really important thing about the ICE is that we cover everything, and we also cover contractors, consultants, and people working for the client base. So when you graduate, whether you go and work in transport or structures or energy, there will be people like yourselves among the ICE, and that is really a real strength. And that is why we have so many members. That's why we've got 95,000+ members, because we have this broad membership. So it doesn't matter where you go in the world of civil engineering, what particular focus you have, there will be other people in that area in the ICE. So that's really important. So student membership of the ICE. So I'm going to start by talking about how you become a student member, because it's very, very easy and it's also free. So it's one of those things where you might as well do it. So student membership, you can immediately then put that on your CV. So if I don't know what years you're in, if you're towards your final year and you're starting to look for jobs, maybe you can put that you're a student member of the ICE on your CV. If you're earlier on in your career, it'll be useful potentially anyway for getting, I don't know, summer vacation placements and things like that. So it has a real value. Other than that, there are all other things that you can access as a student member of the ICE. Mukesh mentioned the knowledge and the learning that's available to you. So we have something called the ICE Learning or Knowledge Hub, which as a member you can access, and there's lots of CPD that you can access there on all sorts of different areas. We have lots of online webinars. There are online events you can join into. Mostly they are recorded, so you even if the time isn't right for you because of the time difference, you can watch them later on. Or some of them you might also be able to gauge in them live and get involved in the QA sessions at the end with some really prestigious people. It gives you access to the Early Careers Network in South Asia. So you're really lucky within South Asia. There is an Early Careers Network, which has been going on for a couple of years now, I think. There are representatives from across South Asia. There is a Sri Lankan representative, and they run all sorts of events, lots of CPD events. And actually, they are increasing the volume of events they're running at the moment. So that's something you can access as a student member. You get a digital copy of the ICE magazine, which comes out every few weeks, the NCE, which gives you all sorts of information, industry updates. It's a bit UK focused, but actually it's quite interesting to find out what's happening in the UK, but it does also have a worldwide, has articles and things happening around the world. There are awards, again, as Mukesh mentioned, there are awards you can apply for, and there's much, much more. So there are lots of reasons to become a student member of the ICE. So what you need to do, so if you go onto our website and put in student membership, you'll bring up that link there. You will need to, if you can see on the right-hand side where it says, have you registered for My ICE account? You'll need to create a non-member My ICE account, which gives you a membership number. You then go back into the system. You just need some basic details, your personal details, details about the course you're studying, and the email address of a course tutor. And you can very quickly on your phone take out your student membership. It will take you, won't take you more than 5 minutes. When I do this talk to people in the UK and I'm actually in a lecture room talking to them, I will often at the end get them to get their phones out at the end of the talk and actually join up there and then. So it's very simple process and something you can do, at the end of today or in the next few days. So very easy to become a student member. Once you have finished your degree, you will be able to upgrade to graduate membership. Now, if you are already a student member, it's very easy to upgrade. You will need to send in your degree certificates, authenticated, signed probably by somebody at the university, and then we will upgrade you to graduate membership. And if you're already a student member, you will probably get the first few months for free. So you will get graduate membership to the end of the calendar year, to the December of the year that you apply, for free. After that, you have to start paying for graduate membership, I'm afraid. It is cheaper outside of the UK, and if you're on a low salary, you can also apply for a reduced rate. So do have a look when you graduate at becoming a graduate member. As I said at the beginning, you can immediately put those letters GMICE after your name, which shows that you are focusing on your career and you are a professional person. It also gives you access to webinars, training courses, networking through being part of the Early Careers Network and joining other sessions, and that global recognition. So student membership now, and then as soon as you've got your degree certificate, you can then transfer to graduate membership, which is really useful. I mentioned the Early Careers Network, so you can join this as a student or as a graduate, Early Careers. They have a LinkedIn group, so it's worth just signing up to the LinkedIn group, seeing what they're doing. You can see the link on the left. And the link on the right just shows it happened, a couple of weeks ago now, but just as an example of the sorts of things that the Early Careers Network are doing. So they did a talk on PAS 2080, the carbon management standard, and they had an expert person talking about it. They had a brilliant one a few weeks ago or months ago probably, where they were talking, they had somebody from the motorsport industry who was talking about road surfacing in motorsport, which was really, really interesting. So there's lots of things that are going to be happening. If you actually wanted to get involved and help with organisation of some of these events, again, that's something that can potentially happen. So do have a look at the LinkedIn group, do sign up to the LinkedIn group and get involved with the early careers. There aren't that many places around the world that have an early careers network. It tends to be quite UK centric. So you're quite lucky in having that ability to engage with it. Just to give you an idea of the sorts of webinars you can access, most of these you'll be able to access now as a non-member, so do have a look at our website. Again, they can be a bit UK centric, but we actually have things from around the world, and these are just some examples I picked up. You can see there's one there which is about the United Arab Emirates, one about seismic responses of steel frames. So that's very, very cross global, across the world. And there's one, the future of rail, that's based in South Africa. So whilst a lot of it is UK centric, there are also things from around the world. So do have a look at our webinars. There's lots of interesting stuff there, and you'll be able to impress people with your knowledge of what's happening around the world. I mentioned the new civil engineer, the NCE. So as a student member, you'll get a digital copy of this. So you'll be able, this just gives you some examples of some recent additions. So you can see in April, the focus was on repairing and reinventing. And then, we can look at, back in December, we had some examples of talking about the new president of the ICE, Anusha Shah, who is originally from India, from northern India. So lots of interesting things, and you'll be able to access that as a student member. As I say, it's all for free. Okay, so then moving on to becoming professionally qualified. So once you graduate, how will you actually become professionally qualified? Because obviously you can already start to think about it now. And once you start looking for jobs, if you're coming towards the end of your degree and you're starting to look at your career and who you're going to work for, quite useful to know how you become professionally qualified in terms of choosing the employer you want to go and work for. Again, Mukesh has already mentioned some of this, the benefits of professional qualification. There are huge benefits in being professionally qualified with any organisation, but with an organisation like the ICE, where we're recognised around the world, even better. So just some thoughts there, it'll improve your career prospects. It's likely to give you higher earning potential. It's external evidence of a professional attitude. If you can put those letters CEng Mice after your name, people will know that you've gone through this particular process and that you have a professional attitude and you've been assessed against certain competencies. That gives you enhanced status, that international recognition, and it's independent evidence of your expertise. When you go into the world of work, everyone around you will be able to know the work you do and how competent you are, but being IEng Mice or CEng Mice is that external evidence that you've reached a certain level in your professional and demonstrated certain professional competencies. So really useful for supporting your career progression. So this is the very simple diagram to show the basic process of how you become professionally qualified. So first of all, you need to have an appropriate educational base. And that is where you are now, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Then there is the stage that we call initial professional development. Now, initial professional development, it sounds like a strange term, but all this is developing the appropriate competencies as set by the Engineering Council of the UK at either IEng or CEng level. And once you have all those competencies and you have been assessed to have all those competencies, then you can apply for your professional review. So the reason it's called initial professional development is that we expect you to continue to develop beyond your professional review. So you reach that base level of competencies for IEng or CEng level, that's the initial level. You'll take your professional review, you'll become chartered or incorporated, but you will continue to develop new skills beyond that. So it's all about learning new skills in the workplace to become a professionally competent engineer. And as I said, once you've passed that stage, and I'll talk about how you're signed off at that stage, you can then apply for your professional review and become a member at IEng or CEng level. So the academic requirements, and again, Prasad or Mukesh, I think, mentioned earlier, there are certain academic requirements that academic base required to progress towards iEng or CEng. And your university doesn't have that accreditation at the moment, so you won't automatically, your degree isn't automatically recognised as giving you iEng or CEng eligibility, but that's fine. It just means you need to go through another process. And what you'll need to do is apply for an academic assessment. And this is where you submit your academic qualifications. It's all on our website, exactly what you need to do. You submit your academic qualifications into our London office. These are then assessed by the academic qualifications panel, of which Mukesh is one, I think he said. And these will be then assessed about the core learning objectives that are required by the JBM, by the Engineering Council at iEng or CEng level, and we will assess whether your degree gives you iEng or CEng eligibility. Now, generally speaking, for a UK accredited degree, somebody with a bachelor's degree will be iEng eligible, and somebody with a master's degree will be CEng eligible. And normally outside of the UK, there's a certain amount of people with a master's will often be CEng eligible, and people with bachelors will be often iEng eligible. It doesn't always work because different degrees are different and people study different modules, but hopefully that'll be the case with you. But you will need to apply for academic assessment, and that's something that you can do as soon as you finish university. Once you get your degree certificate, as part of your upgrading from student to graduate membership, you will submit your degree qualifications and they will go through that assessment. So once you've done that and you know whether you have eligibility for iEng or CEng, you can then start to progress through that initial professional development stage. So there you go. So that learning new skills and gaining new skills in the workplace. And as I said, there are different ways of demonstrating that you have these competencies to be able to go forward to professional review. So first of all, looking at the competencies. So we measure these competencies via our 7 attributes. And you can see the 7 attributes there. And it also shows that it's not all just about technical expertise. The technical side of things is one aspect. So attribute 1 is the understanding on practical application of engineering. But you will also need to demonstrate management and leadership, commercial ability, health, safety and welfare, sustainable development, interpersonal skills and communication, and professional commitment. So you're going to need to be able to demonstrate all those 7 attributes at either iEng or CEng level. And CEng is just a bit higher than iEng. CEng is about demonstrating leadership and the ability to deal with complex issues and continuous improvement, in getting better between different projects. So how do you demonstrate that those competencies in the first instance? So how do you, our terminology is completing initial professional development, IPD. So for new graduates, there are 2 ways that you would complete IPD, demonstrate your competencies. It would either be using a training agreement or mentor supported training. Now, for most of you, if you're staying in Sri Lanka to work, it will probably be via mentor supported training, because a training agreement is where you're working for a company that has an approved scheme with us. But basically, training agreement, mentor supported training are the same process. It's just different terminology. But when you are looking for places to work, it's worth checking whether the company you're planning to work for has an approved scheme with the ICE, or whether they will support you to help you go through your mentor supported training. In both cases, you are working with a mentor. An approved mentor would need to be approved by the ICE, and you're using an online system to gradually, over a period of years, upload evidence of your competencies against the 7 attributes and have them signed off by your mentor. You can see at the bottom on that slide, for experienced engineers, there's a different route, career appraisal. So if you don't manage to do it when you first leave university and you don't manage to use mentor supported training or a training agreement, you can still become professionally qualified. What you'll do is once you've been working for a number of years, you could use the career appraisal process once you're an experienced engineer. So we have guidance documents to both training agreements and mentor supported training. And as I said, it's all about you developing competencies against our 7 attributes, working with an ICE approved mentor. Now, you will probably need to find the mentor yourself, but we can then approve them. Ideally, they would be an ICE member. They don't have to be, but obviously, if they're an ICE member, they understand our processes much better. And I do help people with finding mentors sometimes. I have a list of people, and I know people are ICE members within the country. So if you're struggling to find somebody to be a mentor, do please come to me, and I can hopefully help you to find a mentor. As I said, you're using an online system to upload evidence of your competencies gradually over a period of years, and then get them signed off by your mentor. So your mentor will be gradually signing them off until you get to the point where all your attributes are signed off. Your mentor has said, yes, you have the right level of competence against all the attributes. You can then apply for your professional review. So that's training agreement or mentor supported training. So if we then go back to the flow chart, so we've talked about the educational base, we've talked about initial professional development, and as I said, once you're signed off, you can apply for your professional review. It will take for CEng 5 to 7 years to get all those competencies, and it takes some people much longer than that. I think the average is about 7 years. It all depends on you getting the right experience from your employer and you having the drive and motivation to move forward to get your competencies signed off by your mentor. And if you're not getting the right experience from your employer, to make sure you're getting the right experience. But as I said, yeah, 5 to 7 years is fairly reasonable. When you apply for your professional review, it's all about demonstrating the attributes, again, this time in an interview with 2 reviewers. And you then have your membership, and that'll be a fabulous thing for all of you. So that is me done, really. Talked about how you become professionally qualified, but just to remind you that the first thing to do is to take out your student membership. Before you can do anything else, take out your student membership. It's free, it's easy to do, and well worth doing. So yeah, thank you very much. That's all from me, and I'll stop sharing.
Thank you very much, Kat. That was very insightful, and it was a very complete knowledge transfer. I think you left only a few questions with us. I think students will raise those questions. We will try to answer at the end of the session. Anyway, thanks again for that. Now, actually connecting with Kat's message, okay, Kat explained how to find a mentor, how to find the support from ICE. I have invited a person who has received very good support from Kat Mansell to attain his charterships, getting the guidance through ICE. This is none other than Navindu Jayasurya, our very own student who followed MSc in Structural Design and Construction Management. To give a brief background about Navindu, Navindu is the engineer attached to Davi Brothers, one of the renowned construction organization in Sri Lanka. He's having CEng, not only CEng, now he's having Engineers Australia membership also. On top of that, there are many more professional affiliations currently he's holding. Right. I am inviting Navindu to explain firstly what kind of a support you receive from Kat and ICE for you to attain your ICE chartership, and also then again having these chartership while you are working in the industry, what kind of a recognition, support, and the industry appraisal you received because of these memberships and all. Over to you now, Vidhu.
Hello.
Share your
Thank you.
thoughts with us.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad. So yeah, basically I started my as a student member in my civil engineering studies with the ICE. After that, I obtained my engineering technician status after the studies of diploma, and later I did the MSc in eSoft, MSc in structural design and construction management, and then with my experience as well, I obtained the chartership from ICE. With regard to the chartership, I got a great help from Ms. Kat Mansell with my process, the academic assessment, the career appraisal, and the professional review. I chose the career appraisal method as my initial professional development. With my experience, I with the projects I have worked, water projects and road projects and building projects, then I established the required competencies and the 7 attributes required for the ICE. Then I, after passing the career appraisal, then I faced the professional review, and then I gained the chartership from the ICE. Apart from these things, I got a great help regarding the how the qualification will be assessed and what is the path. And I got connected with Miss Kat Mansell. Like she gave me presentations and total guidance for me to find out the pathway to the chartership. After the MSc from Kingston University offered by conducted at the eSoft, I was able to get the academic assessment with that from the ICE. There was no issue with that. I just forward my qualifications, my research project, and the other qualifications, and then I passed the academic assessment. Then when I explain about the experience, I had around 7 years experience in different projects when I was doing my career appraisal. So with that, I was able to establish the initial professional development for the ICE chartership. Finally, I faced the professional review and got the membership. So after gaining the chartership, it helped me very much in my professional career to find a job and to get the promotions and get the recognition in this industry, and to improve my knowledge. And with the ICE chartership, I got the chance to access number of benefits like knowledge, to gain the knowledge, and the training sessions and those things. I got the chance. And apart from that, I have obtained the membership of Engineers Australia also. The chartership process I followed for the ICE, the same process helped me for the Engineers Australia membership as well. So currently I'm working as a civil engineer in planning and estimating in Thuraya Brothers, doing the estimation and planning for new projects, infrastructure projects, roads, bridges, and buildings. That is the brief of my journey with ICE and the eSoft College of Engineering.
Thank you, Navidu. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and the your pathways and how you attain your charterships and how help you in this process. Right? And the very reason we are inviting you all to show others, our own students and our prospective students, okay, avenues are there, the support is available, why not you get these memberships and climb up your professional ladder, right? Right, now my invitation goes to Desmond Kulas. Desmond Kulas is very senior engineer. Desmond started his career as an engineer after passing out from University of Peradeniya in civil engineering. And after so many years, he getting experiences, companies like MAGA and many more international organizations. Desmond chose to enroll into MSc in Structural Design program conducted at ESOP College of Engineering, awarded by Kingston University, London. Having such a background, such a vast knowledge and the qualification. My question for Kulas is, okay, Kulas, you are a very professional and you had a very good background. You're coming from State University. Eventually, without any effort, you get the local membership. And we know you're a local charter. You have a chartership in local bodies also. What made you to select MSc in Structural Design program of Kingston University? And also, what sort of advice you can give to juniors to attaining these memberships? Over to you, Kulas. You are muted.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Prasad.
Yes.
Right. Initially, I worked with. I passed out, as you tell. I passed out from University of Peradeniya. Then, after work, couple of years, I came to UK and worked 7 years in the UK. It's a company called PJ Carey's. Then, after that, I decided to go back to Sri Lanka. I joined with company called MAGA. Everybody know in Sri Lankan people, MAGA. I carried out the 250-story building, one in Batramulla, another one everybody know is the Grand in Ward Place. Due to the economic crisis over there, I decide back again, move to UK for the work with I move back to the UK with my family because I already had the UK citizenship when I was working here, right? I highly recommend that for this Kingston University Structural Engineering and Construction Management. Is very helpful to work in UK in my professional career because as I told early, I worked 7 years in UK and 8 years in Sri Lanka, come back to the UK. Immediately, I got the opportunity in working UK, right? They put me in one project as a senior engineer. Now they promoted me as a project manager. Prof Mukesh, not far away from I am working from Prof Mukesh in Shepparton, probably 10 miles away from Kingston, right? They built the world's second largest studio. Is a Pinewood. It's called Pinewood Studio. Some people calling the Shepparton, but the biggest studio in the Europe. Yeah, they immediately appoint me after watching my the qualification, especially for the degree I got it from the Kingston. One more thing I need to tell. Yeah, because I have a lot of friends in because engineering friends. Then one of my engineering friend, he came recently to why I am explaining this one, why I'm telling this story, right? What is the value of chartered engineering? Yeah, one of my friend, I am not tell to full story, just for you get the idea to, because I can't expose everything about my friend. Yeah, he came from Sri Lanka to get the work permit for the shop as a manager, right? To get the work permit, he came to the UK early this year, but he had some UK charter engineering qualification. Yeah, then he apply the work over here, right? The company immediately the company give the opportunity to him with the 60,000 annual salary for the pounds. I'm talking about 60,000 pounds annual salary. Immediately they give the new opportunity for him because he had chartered engineering, right? Then everybody now you can realize what is the value of the chartered engineering now, right? How important to get the UK chartered. Not only that, if you get the UK chartered, most of the country you can't convert the UK chartered to, if you people we are willing to go to either Australia or Canada. Even if you have a local Sri Lankan chartered with international professional engineering, uh, lot of university in the lot of institute around the world, you can't convert your chartership for that one is called, they have a mutual some recommendation, they between all the institute they are changing, right? Then it's better to after getting your degree register with the ICE, then after then follow the initial professional development path. Is get a better to get some professional career, either IC or anyone uh, uh, working as a professional engineer around the world, right? I'm still before concluding, I'm telling is I'm proud to say I'm a distinction student from Kingston University, and also I got my UK job immediately without any problem because of I'm a degree holder of University of the Kingston. Thank you.
Thank you, Kulas. And that is very inspiring. Not only inspiring, actually, we are very proud of your achievement, the how far you have reached, and you are a local state university graduate, and also you get masters from Kingston University, and you tried all the avenues. Okay, okay. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you very much
welcome,
for sharing your experiences. Okay. Now we have covered almost all the sessions, and there are a few questions on the chat box. If there are unanswered questions, this is the time for us to explain it. Professor, over to you. Anything you picked from the chat where we did not answer?
I think the majority of them have been answered both by myself and Keith. And there's only one question that is from a Kuruna Sankara. Can member of ISL can get MICE? I think there is not a mutual recognition. Keith will correct me if I'm wrong. However, if you have already achieved the Institution of Sri Lankan Engineers, you should not have a issue in passing the review of the ICE, whether it's a charter engineer or the incorporated engineer. But there is no double counting of your existing membership. I think you have to go through a due process from the ICE in order to achieve, because I should have said that I'm a professional reviewer for both the charter and incorporated engineers within ICE. Keith, am I right? Yeah, I think.
Sorry, yes, I was muted. Yes, you are absolutely right. Yes, I'm afraid there isn't a recognition, so you'll have to go through the same process as everybody else, but you would be using that experienced route, the career appraisal route. And basically, the career appraisal route is you submit the same documents. It's a report and CV and CPD records. It's the same documents that you'll then submit again for your professional review. So you have to go through the review. But yeah, it's you should, if you've passed already on the ISL, then you should be fine.
Yeah. So just one clarity, although I think there are a number of comments within the chat here. Although the program, Kingston program, which have been delivered at the ESOP College of Engineering are non-credited, just wanted to give you assurance that the program content, assessment, planning, etc., exactly the same as what has been offered to their counterpart at Kingston in London. what we need to do is you just need to go through the academic assessment process, and Navindu and Desmond is a testimony of achieving that final goal without any issue. I think that there are reasons why it's not being credited because of number of other things coming in play, but we are in constant discussion with the ESOP to look at either through the accreditation of JBM or ICE accreditation on its own, because the ICE also offers accredited program overseas, as I understand, and that could be considered going forward in future.
Thank you, Professor. There's a message. What about electrical engineering field pathways? Actually, very recently, yesterday, Professor and I had a email communication regarding that. Of course, the electrical programs, what we deliver, electrical and electronics and communication will have the pathways through IET. And also the students who follow mechanical engineering and also renewable comes under the IMechE. Like this webinar, we conducted another webinar with IMechE local president, explaining the membership pathway for mechanical students to how to get the charterships through IMechE.
Yeah. Can I just say something, Prasad, just for the clarity? I think although we are here to talk about the professional status through the ICE, but professional institutions like ICE, IStructE, IMechE, IEEE, IET, they are being regulated by something called Engineering Council. We as all professional institutions are withholding the guidance and the requirements set out by the Engineering Council. So whatever we are discussing today are equally applied to the other PIs with a small variation in their practice, in their process, etc. But when you talk about the progression pathway or getting a recognition in the field, different fields, the basic principles remains the same, because all of us are working in line with the Engineering Council's guidance, and because they are the regulator. As Kath mentioned, that ultimately when you are sitting in a review, a professional review, you are confirming achievement of competencies and attributes. And these are attributes and competencies that have been designed and publicized by the Engineering Council, because the CEng registration is not through ICE. Your charter engineering registration will be with the Engineering Council. Of course, you get MICE as a membership through ICE, because you had to have a membership of professional institution in order to register with the Engineering Council. So just this is in reference to the Gayatri's message. Rest assured, these are the case, and also modules and entire program. I think Prasad and his team will be able to assist. I think everything is covered, Prasad. Unless
Yes. Okay, we took additional 15 minutes time. Anyhow, that was very insightful and very informative session. Thank you very much, Professor Mukesh Limbachia, taking this time. I mean, every day, I mean, any occasion, you never say no. Thank you so much for being with us. And also, same with Kat Mansell. You have been working with us last few years, and you were helping our students. We heard the testimonies from Navindu, what extent you have gone to help him, right? Okay, thank you so much being with us, taking your time, and give our regard to your colleagues at ICE. Also, we thank very much for Desmond. With a very quick notice, you joined with us and you shared your experience. Also, Navindu. taking your time after office, and you are here to help these guys, Rakeem.
Thank you.
All in all, without all these participants, this event would not be a successful. And we conducted this webinar for the sake of your information. And we hope that you will take this opportunity, you take this information, and also we will make this recording available, right? Make sure if you have not shared your emails, share your emails with us. Then we will share these videos with you. Then you can follow all these information leisurely. Additionally, whoever wants to join with Kingston University London programs, engineering programs, we are starting another intake in September. There are 5 undergraduate programs: civil engineering, mechanical engineering, quantity surveying, electrical and electronics and communication. Also, right now we have 3 master programs: MSc in Structural Design and Construction Management, MSc in Management in Construction, and also we have newer latest program portfolio we call MSc in Renewable Energy Engineering. Right? This is very informative and very useful. Most of the industry professionals come through these programs. Also, I have a good news. With next January, we have validated 3 new master programs: MSc in Mechatronic Systems, and also MSc in Facilities Management. Also, we have Building Services Engineering Master Program. We have bundle of program for you, and all these programs are offered by Kingston University London and recognized by University Grant Commission Sri Lanka. Okay, thank you for joining this session. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.